Hello, welcome to Radiant Realization with Namrata. Here we deep dive into captivating conversations about life. Today I have with me Ashi Desai. She's an engineer turned life coach. She helps people to easily upgrade their life across health, relationship, and career. Welcome, Ashi. I'm pleased to have you today.
Thank you so much, Namrata. Thank you for the warm welcome and kind words.
Ashi, what got you started to change your domain from engineering to coming to life coaching industry?
A lot of factors, but I think the primary factor was I've always been a very ambitious person since childhood, and I've achieved all whatever was required in my career. And even after achieving all that, I still felt something was missing when you kind of bring the whole life together, whether it's your health, relationship, other things happening in life. There was still something that I felt was not balanced, not correct. And that's where this change happened, that realization happened that mastering yourself is even more important than mastering your career or making money because that's just specific parts of your life. But when this is you have this complete control over your own self, and there are multiple factors to self mastery, but that self mastery is really, really very important. And that's when I consciously took a pause, worked on myself, read a lot, did some amazing certifications, life courses, and everything, started coaching people. And now I think that's one of the best decisions I've taken.
So, you've designed this self mastery and you help people develop their self mastery. So, how do you define it and why you feel it's most important in life?
So I'll answer why is it most important first. And I think the major factor is that the times we are living in, we have so much exposure and a lot of things are happening in our lives. We are not living the slow-paced life like our elders have lived or the elder generation has lived. There's so much happening. We have to cope up with so many things. Otherwise, we always feel that fear of missing out, that we are just like, lagging behind somewhere. And when we have to balance so many things, we need to master our own selves, make ourselves capable to catch up to that speed. Otherwise, if you're doing really very well in a career, our health is kind of getting disturbed, our relationships are getting disturbed. If you're doing very well, just focus completely on relationships. Somewhere you will feel that you're not doing great in your career, wealth-wise, you're not financially independent. So somewhere you will feel that lagging, and there's always so much competition that you have to cope up to. So I think so there was one very important quote I had heard a long time back that you are like a rubber band, right? If you have to you are being stretched in all directions. But if you don't have your capacity, if you're not strong enough as a rubber, right, the rubber band is going to break. So there's so much happening around us where it's very easy for us to break very easily. And that is why strengthening ourselves is very important. So that, if life is stretching us in all directions, or even we want to stretch ourselves in all directions, we have that capacity. So building our own internal capacity, our internal strength is very important. And that's why self-mastery comes into the picture. And when we talk about self-mastery, I think there are three things I primarily focus on. One is emotions, like how strongly and intelligently we can manage our own emotions. We can use it as a tool, and it's not like emotions are using us. The second one is our thoughts. How powerfully can we use our thoughts to create a reality? So that's where reprogramming your subconscious mind, all that will come into the play. Having the correct kind of perspectives towards life, towards challenges of life, towards adversities, all that, because that's going to define our character in how strongly are we going to deal with them. And then the third thing is your actions or productivity. How swiftly can you act? Because most of the times I've seen that most of us who are not good at managing all the three, they kind of struggle in one of the three wheels. So it's like, you're running an auto rickshaw. We come from Mumbai, so we know that, auto rickshaw is like such an important daily part of our lives. But an auto rickshaw will lose the balance if one of the three wheels are not in place. So in the same way to run this system, the system that we call ourselves, all three needs to be in sync. If we just keep on thinking, ambitious goals, but are not able to act productively, nothing is going to happen. If we keep on acting without the right direction, nothing is going to happen. And even if we think correctly, act correctly, but our emotions are not in managed properly, we're not going to be consistent. We're not going to be motivated. That drive is going to dip and come up, dip and come up. So it's going to drain you. So to keep it short and just to give you a very surface level idea, all three are very important when it comes to self mastery. So I focus on all three, whenever I get into my coaching calls with my clients.
Amazing. Mhm. Actually, how acquiring this knowledge of self mastery helps people in their decision making skills, in their problem solving skills.
So I think one of the important things in Receive with Self Mastery is clarity of mind. A prioritization, like, what is really important for me? Where should I put my energy? Because we all have limited energy at certain stages of our life, right? We are not somebody that we have unlimited energy. We've not reached that stage of human evolution, at least within ourselves. So when we know that we operate with a limited level of energy, where to focus that energy? Outside, inside. So that decision making, it brings a lot of clarity. Whether I want to spend 1 hour thinking about somebody or thinking about me, whether whether what somebody did to me or what I want to do with it. So that clarity is very, very important. And that definitely decides what you, like, kind of helps you decide what you want to, what's your next step? What do you want to do? You can handle the same situation. Suppose, for an example, there's a conflicting situation that you're facing in office, in at home, relationship. So if you're sure that I want to focus all my energy on myself, you just put a break on wrong thinking patterns, and you become very resolved mindset kind of a person. Okay, what can I do? How can I change myself? So it kind of just turns the table. You can understand, right, what I'm trying to say, that the whole approach will differ. So that's what happens when it comes to decision making, clarity of mind. Your priorities will change. Rather than trying and correcting somebody, rather than trying, maybe something, an activity you're not good at, you will focus on something that you're good at and excel at it. So it helps you bring a lot of clarity and helps you take the right decision for yourself.
What techniques would you usually recommend to people while they are on their journey to become or on their journey to achieve self mastery?
So I think one of the first reasons, first things we all need to learn is understand where we are currently at. Otherwise, you will never be able to, for an example, if I want to move from Mumbai to Lonavala and I don't know I'm in Mumbai, how am I even going to gauge that how many kilometers I'm far? How can I go? Whether I need to take an airplane, a bus, or a car. So I need to really know where I'm currently at. And now coming back to self-mastery, where I'm currently at will help you understand what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, becoming more self-aware about what triggers you, your thinking patterns, your emotional patterns, what stops you from acting productively. So understanding all these things, your current state right now is the starting point. Most of the times, the mistake people do is that, okay, they don't understand how or have a clue of where they are currently, and they just create those vision boards and, maps. I want to reach here, I want to reach there, I want this, I want that. But without understanding whether you have the tools, are you capable at this moment? Where do you really need to work on to reach there? If you don't answer these questions, you're just going to move around and not find the path to reach your goals. So I think self-awareness is the key to self-mastery. That's the starting point. So asking yourself the right questions, and when people, the initial step can be little dark, you know. People don't want to enter that unknown area because you have to kind of figure yourself out. So I think taking help of somebody who can just push you, give you prompts, think like this, think about this, and ask yourself this question is very, very important. And I think that's the primary role of a coach, along with holding their hands throughout the journey. But, to just show them this is the direction. Let's think like this. It's okay. Don't fear. We are all together in this. So that's the primary job of a coach in the first level. And just entering that unknown space of identifying yourself is the key and the primary step, I would say.
When we become self aware, I think that is the first step for us to even go forward in this journey.
Yes.
Self-awareness is important. A lot of times we are being told that you have to be emotionally intelligent for you to build relation with other people. But we are not self-aware. So how do we build our emotion intelligence?
So I think the emotional intelligence starts with understanding yourself and then understanding the other person also, right? So I think the first step is very important. We cannot skip that first step that, without being emotionally aware about our own selves, I can be emotionally intelligent. No, that's not possible, right? Two cannot come before one. One is always going to come before two. So that's how it is. You cannot change that law, the sequence in that thing. Being said that, why emotional intelligence helps you build stronger relationship is because now emotional intelligence has two parts to it: knowing yourself better and knowing other person also better. So when you know why this person reacts like this, what triggers that person, how do I kind of have my conversation with that person to have the right kind of message conveyed. So all these things are part of emotional intelligence. So it's pretty obvious, right? That if I know the kind of person you are, I'll deal with you in a much better manner. Rather than not knowing the kind of person you are, I might end up just triggering you unintentionally. So having that kind of awareness is called emotional intelligence. What, how can I manage your emotions, not just mine, but your emotions so that you feel better, you feel comfortable with me, you feel that connect with me, you can rely on me, I can build that trust with you. All these are nothing but emotions that a person makes somebody else feel. So that is what is called as emotional intelligence. And then there are multiple tools to develop that. And that's where you actually require a long process to undergo. It's not a one-time thing that one can learn. It requires a lot of drilling down into our own self, making efforts to understand somebody else, and then work accordingly. So it's a lifelong journey, I would say, but we need to start somewhere.
Actually, you help people with their health, relationship, career, finances, different areas of life. So how do we as an individual know that in which area of my life I am stuck or the things are lacking and I have to focus on? How do we identify this?
So the first thing that people realize is how they feel rather than what you think. So the symptoms are always how do you feel. So if I tell you that, okay, close your eyes and just think about how is Namrata's health right now. How do you feel? Don't bring logical mind into the picture. Don't bring your analysis into the picture. Just try and feel about Namrata's health. Then in the same way you think about the others. Wherever your feeling is very intense and gives you a little more pain than pleasure is something that is your starting point. If you bring your logical mind and analytical mind, it can really fool you to think the other way. You could be really struggling in your logical mind or analytical mind will come inside and tell you, no, no, and Amrita, that's not the case. You're actually struggling here. So when you really want to understand yourself, keep your mind aside and try and understand your feelings. That's your real symptom. And then you drill down into why you're feeling like this. And that's where you start asking yourself questions, try and understand what's there in your subconscious mind that is creating these feelings. Because most of the times there are also people who are really perfect in their health, who look really good. But just because they have this belief system, I don't look good as this, I'm not as fit as this person. There's comparison as a random example. That makes them feel they're not good enough. So for everybody the benchmark is very different. So you start correcting your belief systems by checking how you feel about it, and then drill down to, okay, what do you think about it, what do you believe about it, how do you act on it. So those are the subsequent steps, but your feelings will never lie. I hope
If
that
I
makes sense.
desire, yeah, a lot, a lot.
Yeah.
So actually, today, if like I decide that I want to build myself up, I want to become more self-aware so that I achieve mastery in few areas of my life and I am able to build a good life. But from the day this thought comes to the day when I start doing it, what
Yeah.
obstacles usually people face?
So I think one of the major obstacle is it really worth to understand the value of it? Is it really worth investing my time, energy on something which is not tangible? Most of us run behind what is tangible as an outcome, like money. If somebody is promising you at the end of 30 days, you're going to get this much money, people will invest in it like without thinking, because you can imagine, okay, money I can see. But if I go and tell people that in 30 days, this is the transformation you're going to achieve, how do I prove it? Because there's no parameter to prove that. We don't have any tools. We don't have like that VP machine or something like that to check it. So it's an internal journey. An internal journey is always very unknown. It's very vague. It's not very objective. So to build that conviction, why it is important for you. And self-mastery can help you change everything. That belief, that conviction is the biggest obstacle that stops people. Because if somebody comes and tells you, "Arey, it's not worth it," or कुछ नहीं होता है इससे, it's very easy to believe that because it's a comfort zone. No? मुझे भी कुछ करना नहीं पड़ेगा. So it's my comfort zone. But if I or you go and tell somebody, no, 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 you work hard on it, and things will change eventually. But it's a long journey, and you really have to be on it. So then it's not in your comfort zone. So your brain, your mind will give you reasons to come outside of that, and come back to your comfort zone. So I think that is one of the mental challenges, biggest mindset blocks that people have. बहुत मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. मेरे से नहीं होगा. The second thing is it really worth it? ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या self transformation? And the third thing is like, because all these programs are like really 6 months, 3 months, and a lot of effort is being put on you from the coach side also. So you have to kind of have an fair value of exchange in monetary terms also. So is it worth when it comes to monetary? But what people fail to understand is like one of the major questions I ask my clients is like, okay, how long have you been suffering with this mindset and with these emotional patterns? For how long? And people answer in years, 13 years, 15 years. I've been living like this only, in self-doubt, not taking action, in fear, in anger. And then you say, okay, so what is the kind of, intangible loss you've already created in 15 years? What are the opportunities you've already missed in 15 years? What is the kind of relationship losses in friendships or whatever you've already occurred because of your patterns? That's when people start thinking, oh God, I've already made so much losses. And when that, if you have to give that a number, people will usually number that, in lakhs only. That probably I missed this university admission and I lost this much. I missed this job opportunity and I lost this much lakhs. I failed at this relationship. It was precious, priceless. I lost my health for 15 years, 5 years, whatever. And your health is precious. And then when you give that perspective to people and then say, okay, now this coaching program, you just have to invest so much in comparison to the losses you've already made. And what if you don't take this step right now? What are the chances you are always going to live like this for the next 5, 10, 50 years? How much more loss are you going to make? So when you give them that perspective, that's when they start thinking that, it does make sense. There's no loss as such. You're just investing in your own selves.
Correct, correct.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. What I think, we usually do not spend a lot of time reflecting on our life journey. Okay. So actually, what I would like to know from you is how do we build this self-reflection in our life so we are able to timely capture the opportunities that universe is presenting to us and we go through them, living happy, joyful, making good use of life that we have.
So I think the starting point is always taking responsibility. Most of us, where we fail at external life is also because we don't take responsibility. It's like, okay, you are responsible. My boss didn't give me this thing. My company is like this. My colleagues are like this. My family is like this. Uh, and when it comes to health, I don't have the right. So it's always passing on excuses and shifting the blame. The minute we start taking responsibility, no, I am 100% responsible for the way I feel, think, act. Everything is my responsibility. And it's really tough to build this habit. But if we drill this down, if we can drill this concept within us, self-reflection becomes very easy. And then when you know that there is nobody in the world except you who's responsible for your life, that's where you start taking steps inwards. And self-reflection is an inward journey. So that's where it all starts. Okay, now I am responsible. What can I do? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I thinking like this? How can I change it? What habits do I develop to change it? So then your internal voice will start guiding you in the right direction and give you baby steps. Okay, let's try this. Let's do this. Let's do this. But वो responsibility वाला thing is the, वो बोलते हैं ना चाबी वही है. If you're not ready to take responsibility, your inner voice is never going to guide you. Your brain has already overtaken and telling you, अच्छा ये इसका problem है, you are so great only. You don't need to change. So फिर why self-reflect, you know? But the minute you start taking responsibility, that's where the self-reflection journey starts. And then daily basis पे you can take small steps. Like, journaling is a very good thing because when you sit down to journal, you start having conversations with your inner self. And then when that conversation helps, a lot of answers start coming out. If you are not a reading and writing person, just sit in silence and talk to yourself. Maybe just go in nature and have a walk. Just kind of connect more to your own self and start thinking about the way you've been living, the way you want to live further. If it's not the same, how can you make that transition? How can you change what you so then those questions start coming on your own. बट वो स्टार्ट उधर से होता है कि नो अभी आई एम गोइंग टू टेक कंट्रोल ऑफ माय लाइफ.
Yes. Actually, while you are training your clients or guiding your clients in their journey, I would like to know from you once they started doing this self-reflection exercise and post that when they came across life challenges, do you see the difference in way they are now handling obstacles that are coming in their life?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because what happens is now you're not wasting time in changing anything outside. More rather than that, you're just trying and putting more efforts on how you can stay calm, how you can stay happy in the same situation. So that is the mastery. When we say mastery, it's like, okay, we need to like be the best at that, right? So फिर कुछ भी आने दो, I'm going to be my best. Just for an example, even when you're working or in your relationships, challenges are going to come unannounced. Or even in life, like when we had COVID, that was the biggest uncertain event in everybody's life. Nobody could do anything about it, and things were happening beyond everybody's control. Like, losses in the family and people falling sick and all those things. तो तभी सबसे ज्यादा important क्या है? How can I stay calm? How can I think correctly in that situation? So when you've already mastered yourselves, managing challenges of life becomes like a byproduct of it. वो separately learn करने की जरूरत नहीं. अभी ये सिचुएशन है तो मुझे रिएक्ट करना है कि रिस्पॉन्ड करना है. मुझे मेरे खुद का कंट्रोल लेके लाइक फॉर एन एग्जांपल some people have that emotional habit of taking stress. Some people will close themselves, withdraw themselves. Challenge आया तो लाइफ में. Some people will kind of hurt themselves and keep on sulking. My life is this, my life is bad, this, that. Nothing of this is solving anything for anybody. The situation is also not changing and you are also not feeling happy. But when you've mastered your own selves, ये situation आया, life का खराब situation आया, how can I think to feel happy? What can I do to feel happy? Even when the outside is not good. That is what is like you've already mastered. तो फिर लाइफ में कुछ भी होने दो, then you don't need to learn separately. Then it's a byproduct.
Actually, and in this journey, while we are trying to become a better version of ourselves, what is the role of habits and routines?
Okay. So most of the times कैसे होता है ना, because it's a very new journey for us. All our lives, like 20, 30 years of our lives, we've lived in a pattern. And we were not even aware that this was not the right way of, emotional pattern or thinking pattern or acting pattern. So once we realize and start working on it, तो बहुत सारे internal obstacles ही आएंगे. Like, your mind will only come and tell you, it's okay, yeah, chill, don't do it, don't be hard on yourself. And because your subconscious mind, so we all have these neural pathways in our brain. So even if you're trying to come against the force, the flow of, like, just for an example, let me give you a metaphor of, a very strong current, river current running, and you're trying to move the boat in the opposite direction. बहुत ज्यादा force लगता है. The minute you lose that awareness, या फिर थोड़ा energy drop हुआ, so this is going to overpower. So all our lives we've been living like this, in that force, unconsciously. बस ऐसी life चली आ रही है. We've been reacting like this, गुस्से में, hurt करके, या फिर, in different patterns, self doubt कर करके, fear में. So these have been our patterns. Now we are trying to change it, going against the flow of what we've been living. तो awareness बहुत, alertness बहुत लगेगा, awareness बहुत लगेगा, and it's difficult to bring that. तो वो time पे coach can really become helpful because it's not an easy journey. तो वो एक प्रॉब्लम बहुत आता है, लैक ऑफ मोटिवेशन आ जाता है. यू कांट सी रिजल्ट्स इमीडिएटली, सो यू स्टार्ट डाउटिंग द प्रोसेस एंड योर कोच और वट एवर. अरे कुछ हो भी रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है, सच में होगा क्या चेंज, विल आई बी एबल टू डू इट. तो तब जाके इफ यू ऑलरेडी क्रिएटेड दीज डिसिप्लिन या फिर रूटीन्स, कि नहीं कुछ भी हो जाए मैं उतना तो करूंगी, मैं 5 मिनट्स जर्नल करूंगी, मैं 5 मिनट्स मेडिटेशन करूंगी, भले मुझे रिजल्ट्स नहीं दिख रहे, बट आई जस्ट बिलीव इन द प्रोसेस, आई बिलीव इन द कोच. लेट्स सी कुछ क्या बिगड़ने वाला है. So if you build these habits, no, even when you can't see the results and all that, so that in these times of losing motivation, consistency, these really come handy and helpful. Ki, at least stick to it. Keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. Things will change. Don't lose the momentum or motivation of it. So that's where it all helps.
I agree to this. Rashi, according to you, what is the role of mindfulness in this journey?
So I guess यही time पे ना mindfulness comes very handy when you're trying to change yourself a lot. So you will start seeing, you need to really become aware of how you're thinking in a certain situation. And it can be really painful. Nobody enjoys doing it really because it's like you're not gaining any achievement out of it. The dopamine is not kicking, it's not creating excitement. It can be really boring and dull thing to do. So that is where the self-awareness wala part, mindfulness wala part, make it little fun and make it little more awareness oriented. So make it a little interesting. So when you keep on doing that, no, it becomes a little lighter on your head. कि हाँ भाई ठीक है, 5 minutes I'm just observing, I'm relaxing, all that. So it really helps you, slow down your stress levels, slow down your mind, and helps you bring clarity. कभी कभी हम लोग किसी चीज में इतना घुस गए होते हैं कि fail to see the direction. We lose the vision of where we are headed and is it the right direction to go in. But when we have this habit of practicing mindfulness, it gives you that pause. Okay, sure, okay, relax, just check everything is fine now, you're moving in the right direction now, you're okay now. Okay, start again. So I think the meaning of mindfulness for me is that to just stop, look around, everything is fine, look within, again push yourself, rather than just keeping on pushing yourself. Don't be very hard on yourself. And there are multiple definitions of mindfulness today. It could be like, taking like investing in your self-care, meditation, going in nature and spending some time there, sitting, with your own self in silence, breathing, pranayam, yoga. Everything is connected to mindfulness. So do whatever you like. Start somewhere and make it more enjoyable so that you want to keep on doing it again and again.
Actually, one thing which I am very excited to know from you is when we start building these habits, like journaling, gratitude, becoming more mindful, becoming more self-aware, we realize that we are improving every day. We are becoming better human.
Mm.
But lot of time, people around us are saying. So in this situation, how do we handle the criticisms that the people would say, "What are you doing this?" Because for them, all of these are
Yeah.
alien things and
Yeah.
not let it impact our journey when we
Mm.
want to
Mm.
do things on a regular basis.
Mm. So I think we need to understand one thing, that people are going to anyways judge and criticize anything and everything they don't understand, right? For an example, if everybody in your family eats junk food and one fine day you start eating healthy food, they will not even understand that concept unless they build that importance. And the same way goes to you, for all of us. It's not that, always the people outside us are not understanding us. So we need to give that benefit of doubt that probably one day when they understand the results of these things, they will also move into the same game. And probably you could be the change maker in your surrounding, that you bring the transformation, you show them the changes, and that's when they start believing it. Because we are all people who need proofs. We all need validation to believe something. We need to see the result and then we believe something. So, okay, you take it that way, that okay, they will not understand because they're not seeing the results. The day I start showing them my results, they will start believing in something. So you become the change maker in your surrounding. Just shift the perspective and then you're like,
That
okay, no,
perspective.
I'm responsible to even, encourage them. So then your mindset will become even more powerful. That okay, you don't take in the criticism, you take it as your motivation that no, now I have to bring even more changes to make them convinced about this and encourage them on the same path. So it's just shift in perspective.
Plus. Okay, so with this knowledge, how can we influence our loved ones so they also join this journey?
I think by showing them the results, because the experience and giving them results is the biggest proof, to convince them on something. Just blabbing things and trying to make them understand things, it does not make sense. So that is why also in coaching also, like the first thing that we gauge in some clients, like when they come to us, is, are you really willing? Are you really open? Only then, let's invest. Even then only I'm going to invest my energy, on somebody, because even I want to see results, right? But if somebody is closed-minded, so even if your loved ones are closed-minded, they don't want to understand only all this, then don't waste the energy. But the minute they start seeing the transformation, that's when they will start thinking, Arey, what was she doing? How is she changed so much now? You know, that's when they will start thinking, and that becomes their turning point. But you explaining them or convincing them, don't waste your energy.
Agree, agree. So for them, it's to see tangible outcome. Probably they might
Yes.
join the journey.
Rather invest more energy in bringing those transformation in your own selves
Mm.
rather than proving a point to somebody else, because it could be taken in a wrong way, that you're trying to force something on somebody which they are not convinced of, and they could kind of even move away from this concept, start disliking this concept of self mastery and self journey.
Yes, I agree. When you impose something on people, they tend to move away from it. It is
Yeah,
more that it has to come from them, from
you
within.
can definitely discuss, what you're doing, what you're not doing, what is helping you. You can share your journey with them, but never try to impose something on somebody that it's very good for you should do it. People don't get convinced like that. Till the time वो आवाज अंदर से नहीं आती है ना कि नहीं, I really need it and I'm really struggling and I really don't want to live like this anymore. I want to live a better life internally and externally. वो आवाज जब तक नहीं आती है, people don't start their journey. And I think life's experiences take you to that point. So let them have their own life experience.
A lot of things that you've been sharing with us is related to mindset. So I would
Hmm.
like to know from you, what are the limiting beliefs that are already present within individual that is acting as a block for them
Hmm.
to go ahead? How do we
Hmm.
identify them?
So I think if you're procrastinating enough, one of the एकदम मतलब जो बहुत ही ज्यादा prevalent है is like very ambitious goals. मुझे ये करना है, वो करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है. I will do this, I will do this. But you don't see yourself taking action. Are you really taking action? या फिर एक दो दिन action लिया फिर वापस energy drain, वापस छोड़ दिया. That is how most of us are living in certain areas of our life, including all of us. We all are humans. We are all prone to making mistakes. But when we start identifying this, अरे यार मुझे करना है कि मैं कर क्यों नहीं पा रही? व्हाट इज स्टॉपिंग मी? व्हाई एम आई प्रोक्रेस्टिनेटिंग? आज नहीं, कल, कल नहीं, परसों, नेक्स्ट ईयर, नेक्स्ट मंथ. So then you need to understand that, okay, what is stopping you? Something in your head is stopping you. Whether it is some belief about you, about your life, about your capabilities, about your confidence. That's when you start understanding, okay, what is there in your mind. Mindset मतलब क्या? माइंड में कुछ सेट करके रखा हुआ है, which is either helping you or not helping you. तो वो चेंज करना है. कि rather set something in your mind which will help you, which is your belief system. कि beliefs are nothing but, set pattern of thoughts विच इज कॉल्ड एज अ बिलीफ. और तब उससे ही बनता है माइंडसेट. तो वो इतना ड्रिल करके रखा हुआ है. मेजर फैक्टर दैट वी आर प्रोक्रेस्टिनेटिंग टुडे इज फियर ऑफ फेलियर. एक दो बार अगर लाइफ में वी ऑलरेडी फेल्ड एट समथिंग, वी क्रिएट अ बिलीफ सिस्टम, आई विल ऑलवेज फेल. मैं कुछ भी ट्राई कर लूँ, लाइफ इज नेवर गोइंग टू फेवर मी. आई विल नेवर अचीव दिस. दैट इज द बिगेस्ट लिमिटिंग बिलीफ पीपल आर फेसिंग टुडे. कॉन्फिडेंस इश्यूज, doubt issues, self-doubt issues. कि I don't have the capability, I don't have this, I'm not capable, I will not be able to achieve this. My life is always like this. My life is full of struggles. I never achieve what I want to. I never feel happy. People around me are like this. These are all limiting beliefs, which is not helping you grow. And fear of failure being the topmost one. कि मैं कुछ भी कर लूँ मैं फेल हो जाऊंगी तो all there are multiple things and it differs for people to people. It is based on their genetics, their upbringing, the way they have seen their parents thinking and believing also shapes their mindset. And plus, you have your own mindset because of your education and your grooming, your workspace, people around you, everything. But the starting point is this: start noticing your actions. Are you taking actions in the right direction to fulfill your goals? If not, something is limiting you, and that's your belief system. And वो understand करना is also a very big part of the coaching journey because it's not the same for everybody. I cannot say कि my limiting belief is the same as yours. For some, it could be fears, some it could be self-doubts, for some, it could be just some random statements and tendencies of judgments, labeling, all of those things. So it's very personal to say that.
Mm, mm. Actually, these fears are very common, right? And they
Hmm.
tend to hold us, grip us in a
Yes.
way that we stay in the environment where we are. So, if somebody wants to step out of this comfort zone of
Hmm.
fear,
Hmm.
what is the first step you would recommend to them?
So I think one is I'll say about I'll take into consideration all three things of self-mastery, which is emotions, thoughts, and actions. So when it comes to emotions, you have to kind of start redefining fear, the feeling of fear, into comfort. And okay, I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable. Make that zone as your comfort zone. The minute you start feeling comfortable about it, there are again NLP techniques that can help you change these feelings. In the same situation where your fear gets triggered, you can start triggering your comfort zone and you feel comfortable around it. So there are, those NLP techniques that can be used to do that. Once your feeling is, you feel a little comfortable, you start changing the whole mindset. It's about our comfort zone, right? What is it that I'm feeling fear about? What is the worst that can happen? Because fear के बारे में, fear of failure के बारे में सोचते हैं तो worst सोचते हैं. That's how our brain just jumps into the worst thing. So then you make it a little objective. So again, you use NLP techniques of Milton model, meta model, and there are much more to change the way you talk to your brain. कि okay, worst क्या होने वाला है? This is just one random example I'm giving. So when you start asking yourself these questions, तो वो जो हम लोग hypnotic state में होता है ना कि नहीं नहीं बहुत डर लग रहा है, बहुत डर लग रहा है. So then that kind of stops. And then the third one is like taking the action one step, baby step at a time to move outside your comfort zone. Like if I fear doing a particular action, can I just take one small step and see, do I still feel that fear? Challenge yourself. So you need to kind of work in all the three directions: emotions, mindset, and productivity, which is actions. So I know it sounds a lot, but when you do it along with, coach and your community of like-minded people, it becomes very easy. Most of us, whoever is listening to this, would understand कि corporates में we do these business में gap analysis. So how do you do your gap analysis? You understand, okay, what's the current state? Where do you want to reach, after 1 year? Where do you see the business or the company growing or your team growing? The goals you want to achieve, the projects you want to deliver, all those things. And you say that what's the current situation? What are the challenges? What are the strengths? What are the tools you already have and everything? Then the third step is you understand the gap. अभी मुझे यहाँ से यहाँ पहुंचना है तो मुझे क्या क्या चीज चाहिए इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर टीम इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर रिसोर्सेज इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्किल सेट्स any financial resources everything so that's an in-depth analysis that we do for business so this is one of the things I realized when I was in corporate कि इतना all these things that I've learned in MBA and corporate and everything so if that can be applied to them why can't it be applied to human beings if human beings want to grow बिजनेसेस को ग्रो करने के लिए ये मॉडल है तो ह्यूमंस को ग्रो करने के लिए भी यही मॉडल यूज कर सकते हैं यू जस्ट हैव टू चेंज द टर्मिनोलॉजी द फ्रेमवर्क कैन स्टिल रिमेन द सेम एंड इट्स कॉमन सेंसिकल ऑल्सो राइट कि अगर मुझे 2 kgs लूज करना है राइट नाउ आई एम एट दिस वेट इफ आई वांट टू लूज 2 kgs आई नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट चेंजेस आई नीड टू मेक बट कॉन्शियसली वी डू इट अनकॉन्शियसली बट कॉन्शियसली हम लोग कभी नहीं करते बैठ के खुद के साथ वी जस्ट ड्रीम विजन बोर्ड बना लिया 2025 का वी ड्रीम आई वांट टू रीच हियर आई वांट टू डू दिस आई वांट टू दिस बट ओके व्हाट आर यू गोइंग टू डू where are you currently how practical it is for you to reach there whether it's possible what all do you need to reach there so that's where human growth के लिए भी gap analysis कर सकते हैं कि where are you currently in terms of all areas of your life spiritually health relationship career money wise what all the important factors where do you want to reach what is stopping you and then the primary focus in my approach is not checking the external tools and resources कि मेरे पास इतने पैसे नहीं हैं या फिर मेरे पास ये नहीं है मेरे पास हेल्थ it's not external at all that people around me are the problems or opportunities नहीं है वो problem है no the approach that I deal with is what are the life skills I need to learn to reach from A to B what are the changes I need to make in my emotional pattern thinking pattern action pattern habits action pattern is nothing but your habits and disciplines and routines thinking pattern is your limiting beliefs your fears creating a success mindset subconscious rewiring all that and emotional patterns is taking control the emotional intelligence we spoke about तो वो तीन चीज में what am I currently stage at what is the percentage how much do I want to improve and the life skills I need to learn not people I need to change not the opportunities life needs to give me कि मेरी लाइफ ऐसी होगी ना तो आई अचीव्ड आई एम हैप्पी इफ आई ट्रैवल हियर देन आई एम हैप्पी नो you can still be happy sitting at home if internally things are sorted so it's basically on two things the three things that we need to master emotions thoughts and actions and the life skills you need to learn sometimes okay to improve certain things you need to learn certain life skills just for an example if I have to give example of life skills it could be how to manage relationships personally and professionally so there are certain techniques certain perspectives. Again, the same things that probably we learn in corporates, and there are many more that we can use in our personal lives. So again, उसमें भी बहुत ज़्यादा है to manage your relationships. There are multiple techniques that can be used, which can be helpful in your relationships career. Health-wise also, there are a lot of scientific data, knowledge, and practices we need to be aware of to have good health, which people are not really aware of, or people kind of disagree with those information and data. तो वो सब life skills the major life skill is confidence motivation belief in your own self so basic things how can I learn this life skill of always believing in myself always facing the challenges with confidence तो ये सब सीखना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है which can really help you succeed in all areas of life so that's where I really focus on and then one more technique that I think we've learned in corporate is the 7 why, the fishbone technique, all those things, And I've applied all these things in my corporate coaching. And one of the, to be honest with you, those frameworks were the first frameworks I've incorporated in my coaching program because I realized that probably I was fortunate enough to learn these things in a corporate. that grooming was given to me. But when it comes to daily life, not everybody goes to corporate. People have different professions and they've not got these grooming things. Let's share it with them, because they are really good and important.
Okay. So, Ashay, if tomorrow somebody wants to take a first step in their journey towards self mastery, what ideal routine you would recommend them to follow?
Um, I think just get more inclined in this concept. I would say the first thing that people need to realize is just like, be more open to the idea and be more inclined. So even if you don't really want to go and invest in the first place in a coach, I know that can be really daunting because it's an unknown journey, unknown person, all of that. But start reading about it. Start knowing things about yourself. So I think reading is the best thing. And there is a lot of information today in books, on internet. But you need to be aware of what is the right and what is the wrong. What is useful to you and what is not useful to you. Cut the noise and just focus on what is good information, and then start and let your inner voice tell you कि भी बस, then there will be a stage where you will feel अभी बस हो गया, मैंने बहुत खुद से try कर लिया. I want to speed up the process and I want to take help. you know that's the step when जब वो inner voice आता है ना कि now I want to speed up the process, and lonely खुद से करना, it's possible but it's a long journey and it's really heavy. खुद से करना, it's boring also, it's dull also. So let me do it with a community. Let me do it with a coach who can speed up my process because उसके experiences add होने वाले हैं. The methodology is going to add up, the framework, so it's going to make my life very easy. So that's when you reach out to somebody, and that's where you start evaluating who could be that person who can help me, what kind of courses or programs can really help me. Make that decision, and then just surrender. Then once you've decided, then just surrender to the process and definitely the changes will come. But you need to be a little patient in the process and give yourself some time. So be a little easy with yourself. But once you've surrendered, let them take over. I think this is like a very journey which I have also gone through. When I invested in my coach for a very long time, I was doing all the self study, working on myself, and then you realize, okay, let's take advantage of their expertise and make your life easy and faster so that you can focus on your life goals, rather than just mastering yourself. Let them help you master yourself and you focus on the external successes you want to achieve. So it's like, I think, three-step process. First is doing it your own self and building that conviction. And then you reach a stage, okay, and I will speed up. I want it fast so that I can focus on something else and let them invite them into your life. And the third one is when they are already in your life, holding your hands, be patient and surrender.
Amazing. Actually, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. The way you linked your corporate experience with the coaching journey, making it very easy for people to relate who are from the corporate world, and sharing the importance of self-reflection, self-awareness. I think this is the amazing module that you designed for your client. I wish you a lot of success in your coaching journey.
Thank you so much, Namrata. And it was really glad to have this conversation because it really sparks me up from within when I talk about this, because this really comes from my own experience and I cannot share the importance of self-mastery. Like words are not enough to share that experience. Maybe, the kind of energy I exchange, people can get the best, from that. But it's really, really, really very important to master your own self, and बाकी सब तो फिर byproduct ही है. Then success is at your footstep, but you need to give it some time. It's not a quick thing. So I hope people understand the importance of self mastery. Talk to more and more people about it so that you understand the importance of it. Reach out to the right resources. I think that's the best thing I can say to your audience as well. And yeah, I would love to share more about my programs and the coaching style and methodology. If anybody's even more interested. So yeah, maybe you can find my handles and everything in the description that you would share. So would love to have more conversations with people and help them in their journey.
Thank you so much. And to all the audience members, do leave us comment in this comment section so we can bring you more content that would help you in your journey. And do reach out to Ashi for any support that you need. Thank you so much, Ashi.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, guys.